Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Radiant You podcast. I'm your host, Lissa Cole, and today's episode is full of warmth, faith, and everyday strength. I am sitting down with someone I admire deeply, Chelsee Shafer. She's a wife, mom of three, almost four, preschool teacher, director, and a woman of radiant faith. Her life is full and layered, and yet she carries it with grace, strength, and compassion. Chelsee is raising two biological daughters, one adopted daughter, and she's prayerfully navigating the possibility of welcoming a newborn baby boy into her family. Her husband lives with a chronic illness, and her oldest daughter is heading into her senior year. Oh my goodness. She's a woman who shows us that radiance doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence and prayer and living with intention in the messiness of real life. Chelsee, I am so grateful to have you here. I'd love to begin with something that is at the center of everything that you do, and that is your faith. You live a life deeply rooted in your faith. How has your walk with Jesus shaped the way you move through life and motherhood?
Well, much like everything else in my life, I'm always growing in my faith, and I think that's part of my strength as a mother is bringing my children into my faith and letting them know that, like, I'm not perfect. Every day I have to learn and grow. God has guided me through so many ups and downs in life, and I think He is really what makes me radiant. His light shining through me and to my children. You know, He has really shaped the person that I am. And as an adult, I can say that. As a child, I didn't know God. And I as soon as I became a parent, I knew that that relationship would change the trajectory of their life. And it is a guiding force for me. And now I'm so blessed to say for all three of my girls, like, it is a guiding force. Our faith is the strongest part of who we are.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Are there moments in your journey where your faith carried you through when nothing else made sense?
So many, many times. There are many times. I know, Miss Lissa, you've been with me for a lot of my adult life. So you've seen some of the trials that I've come upon. You know, one of them was my dad's side of the family that I've grown up with to be the, closest to. In a span of 6 years, we lost almost every member of my dad's side of the family, including my dad. And I do remember times of feeling so sad and depressed and wondering why, but then also knowing that I put my faith in God, and He knows the plans for my life. He knows the plans for the life of those in my family. And also coming upon, the opportunity to foster Jordan, so many what ifs, and just the ability to trust Him and to trust His plan for my family and my life has been really powerful. Letting go of the worldly view of who I think I should be, the things I think I should have, the things I think I should do, and really resting in the Word and His plan for my life.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love how anchored you are in your relationship with God. It feels like the thread that holds all the pieces together. And you're right. I have seen that happen in your life, and it's especially beautiful to see how that faith has guided your path into this phase of not phase, but this next component of your life, which is the adoptions. And so tell us about the path that led you to adoption. What stirred your heart toward that calling?
Well, I have a unique story that when I was younger, my parents gave a set of twins up for adoption. So I have that connection there to the heartache felt on both sides. And I feel as though it really prepared me for the opportunity to be a good foster parent for Jordan and ultimately adopting her, because it allowed me to have compassion for her, but also compassion for her life before us and the people that were in her life. I find that, as she gets older, she's trying to identify herself, and those parts are still there for her. They're still real. And being able to have experience with some of her trauma and also the feelings associated with adoption have equipped me to handle some of these situations better, to be prepared for the things that she's experiencing. So
Yes. Oh my goodness. How are you navigating the possibility of adopting another right now, with faith, family, and hope all in the mix?
well, I am 41 years old. So the thought of having a newborn baby it's kind of terrifying, to be honest. I'm not in my 20s anymore. It's one of those moments where I really had to be still and listen to God and know that He's in control of the situation. So I spent 2 solid weeks praying about this situation and trying to listen to His voice in my life, quieting my mind and my heart to focus on God. And it looked different every day. Sometimes that was a quiet walk to just be in prayer. Sometimes it was a small blessing that came to fruition, something that I thought couldn't happen. Every aspect of this situation, I have to say, has been led by God.
Yeah.
My children's response, my husband's response, we are really just focused on showing another baby love, which is, God has given me a servant's heart, and loving children is probably the biggest aspect and component of who I am. As a preschool teacher, having children, I am thankful for the opportunity to give that love to another baby and to welcome him into a family that from the outside, we look a little crazy, but we are full of love, and we are excited to welcome him into that. To be
Yes.
a calm in his tiny storm,
Absolutely. It leads me right into my next question, and that is, what has adoption taught you about love, especially the kind of love that's chosen and fought for?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty deep. Adoption has shown me that a strength that God gave me is to love without judgment,
Oh,
and to be able to love when things are hard and when they don't look bright and shiny, so part of adoption, when people look at our family from the outside, they don't see the struggles that we've faced, because we've faced them head on together and with God. But a lot of that there's heartbreak on both sides of the story, and coming together and loving each other, knowing that God is ultimately our anchor. He has placed us. He knew every day of our story before we were there. And what a blessing that God has given me in Joe. What a blessing. And someone who's been through some hard times and can empathize with her struggles, I'm thankful for those experiences in my life. So it kind of changes how I've looked at some of the things I've gone through, as to it's been a building block for me to help her now and in the future when she has so many questions, help her heal, and offer her that support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, that kind of love, the brave, that intentional kind, is so powerful. Oh my gosh. And I see it just oozing out of you. And I've been very blessed to be able to walk alongside you as you have grown with Joe. You know, she's grown, you've grown, it's your whole family has, and it's pretty amazing. And I can imagine it only deepens when you're raising your girls and holding space for each of their unique journeys, you know, because every single one of them are different.
So true.
So so moving into that, I love how this just moves into different things that I want to talk with you about. This one is really looking at motherhood and marriage. And so let me repeat that question. Okay. So how do you guide your daughters as they grow, especially your oldest, who is stepping into her senior year of high school?
I think that guiding all of my girls through the journey of life here, that the best way I can describe it is that we're constantly planting seeds for them, planting seeds of
Love that.
faith, planting seeds in life, all aspects, and living a real life so they can manage their expectations of a real life. It's not
Yeah.
all ponies and rainbows. There are hard times. And I'm pretty intentional about talking to my girls about those struggles so that when they're adulting on their own, and for Emma, that's coming very soon, she can manage her expectations as to what to expect. But also, I think the most important seed is that seed of faith, that she can always fall back and have Jesus in her life to love and to guide her path, and to know that we're always here to help her, to guide her. You know, it's not you're 18 and you're out of here, but knowing
Right.
that hopefully these seeds that we've planted will carry her. And it's a pretty unique situation that she's experiencing right now through the adoption and fostering. And recently has decided she'd like to go into early childhood education, possibly be a counselor for children. So some of
Yay!
these, right, some of these experiences are helping her grow in her path also. So
Oh,
pretty
that's
neat.
amazing. Oh, that what a blessing this world has in Emma.
Yeah, I full-heartedly believe that. I'm biased, but
Yeah, I might be too, but no,
yeah.
that's good stuff. So, what emotions are surfacing for you as you prepare to launch her into this next chapter?
I'm excited for her. I'm excited to see what God has in store. Um, I think it's natural to feel a degree of sadness. Emma is, we're very blessed in this house that truly we are each other's best friends. You know, we enjoy being home together. We enjoy doing life together. So it is sad to see her branch off. I'm excited for her though. I know God has great things in store for her life. It's a little nerve-wracking to send the little love of my life out into the world and hope that they greet her with the kindness she shows the world, you know, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
Yeah. So,
surrounded her though with a good, I feel as though a proactive part of my parenting has been surrounding my kids with like-minded people who will be a support system for the rest of their days to her. You know, we call ourselves a 4-quarter crew because we don't have 100 pennies in our life, but we have a small group of really connected people that all of my children feel rooted in. So they know, I mean, my girls know they can call these people if I'm not available or if it's something they can't come to me with. So I'm thankful for that.
I love that analogy, the 4 quarters versus, all the pennies. I just, that's the first I've ever heard of that. And that really speaks volumes.
Yes, we love all people, and that's
Mhm.
truly the heart that God has given us. Um, but we maintain a small knit community of people that we can be vulnerable with and share our heart with. So
Yeah.
it's been a blessing in my life, and I'm sure in theirs as well.
Yes,
Give people
absolutely.
over 100 pennies. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, love that. Love that. Oh, I'm going to use that a lot. That's great. Your husband lives with a chronic illness, which brings both strength and struggles into your marriage at times. What has that journey taught you about partnership and presence?
I think the exact word is that it truly is a partnership. Um, the longevity of our relationship has been a lot of highs and lows, and loving someone who has a chronic illness, my husband has rheumatoid arthritis, is accepting that some days he's strong and some days I'm strong, and some days he'll carry me through and some days I'll have to carry him through. These days when we have ideas like welcoming a brand new baby, those are when he's showing me support for where God's led me. And days when his rheumatoid arthritis is acting up and he is struggling to get out of bed or struggling to do the honey to-do list, those are when I have to show him grace and I have to be the strong partner for him. So it's another one of those things I can reflect and say, it seems like a curse, but I view it as a blessing also, because I think it's hard for a man to be vulnerable. It's
Yes.
hard for him to admit when he can't do things, but that's drawn us closer together, and it's helped us lean on each other more through parenting and through everyday life experiences, and to really embrace it as a partnership instead of two strong-willed people trying to man their way through.
Right. Yes, that's right. Oh, wow. Oh, and I've been blessed to be able to see the growth in your marriage and your relationship too along the way. Just outside looking in, right? No one ever sees the inside, but I'm telling you what I see. Oh my goodness, what a blessing you both are to each other.
Absolutely. I am very blessed to have someone who recognizes that God gave me a servant's heart, and that sometimes that does not look pretty. Sometimes
Yes.
it does look messy and chaotic, and he embraces that. And those are some of the reasons why he loves me. So I'm blessed to have him. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. As he is you.
Yes.
Sure. So how do the two of you stay connected, spiritually, emotionally, and practically, in the midst of everything that you guys carry?
I think that something that has helped us is just having a few intentional moments every day. And sometimes it looks small, like a few hugs or embraces or expressing gratitude for what we've done for each other that day. Like some days when he comes home from work, I know it's 100+ degrees in his shop, and I just will give him a hug and say, I'm thankful that, I know today was hard and you stuck it out at work for our family. Just showing those small pieces of gratitude, it really has helped build our relationship and kept us strong through these moments. And also expressing the vulnerable side of the things that we go through too.
Absolutely. Do you guys try to date? Do you try to do some things that are just special for the two of you?
We do. It comes in seasons for us,
Yeah.
as most things do in my life. There are seasons where we're more proactive with our date night, and
Sure.
sometimes our time together is watching a movie when the kids go to bed.
Yes. Yes.
Or watching funny reels or whatever it is
Yes.
that he, pulls up, and just giving each other a few minutes of our time to go through what our day has looked like. So
That's
sometimes
good
it's
connecting.
glorious. Sometimes we plan trips, but in different seasons, in this season of our life, it looks a little different. And I think we both accept that.
Yes, absolutely. I can feel the tenderness and the intentionality in the way that you hold space for him, for your family, and yet you also hold space for others through your work. So, as a preschool teacher and director, what's one thing about working with children that fills your cup again and again?
Well, I love my job as a preschool teacher. There's no doubt in my mind that God led me to that preschool where I met you.
Yes.
It has changed the whole story of my life. I think the love that's shared there is what keeps me coming back. The community feel in that building, it's palpable.
Oh,
So,
yes.
I've said, like, God has given me a servant heart. I truly feel called to be there every day and to show those children love and safe space, not only for them, but for their parents, for their families, to welcome them with love, without judgment, showing them sometimes my vulnerable side about life can be messy, but like, we're here, we're going to get through it together. And I feel as though children thrive in that love, in that comfort.
Mhm.
And the academics come after that. They
Absolutely.
they thrive and helping them with, discovering who they are and their emotions. That is just such a beautiful gift that I feel blessed to be a part of.
Absolutely. Ooh. Okay. My emotions are running with me here. So, what does it look like to lead with heart in a professional space, especially one that is so centered on care and early development?
Well, to be transparent, some days it looks exhausting.
Yes.
Some days I feel like it's easy to pour from an empty cup. But every day it looks joyful to me. Even the hard days, I am so grateful to be a part of what is happening, and to share those moments with children and their families. To lead with love is a great gift, and it also can be quite exhausting to be such an empath and to care so deeply about people that come in and out of those doors every day. It is a blessing, but also it can be heavy.
Absolutely heavy.
Mhm.
Yes. You're such a strong presence in your communities. What helps you cultivate meaning, that the meaningful connections with others, even when life is so full?
To be honest, it's not something that I have to put thought in, because that is just the person that God's called me to be. Um, I would love to be more intentional about my presence in the community, but naturally, I have created these bonds with family members and they last for a lifetime.
For a lifetime.
When someone comes through those doors, genuinely, the care, the love, um, doing life together, it never changes. Miss Lisa, you see someone that were a part of their life when they were 3 and 4, and 10, 15 years later, you're still a part of that family's life. They still will say, there's Miss Lisa, there's Miss Chelsee. Those things, it's just been a natural process for me, because genuinely I love and care for the people that come to our school. I genuinely care about them. So I don't feel as though it's a to-do list, more
Right.
so just the calling of my heart, that I
That's
want to be a part of it. I want to be there for the people in our community.
absolutely. And that leads me to this other question, and that is, knowing, the stories and the different moments that you've had in this work. And it reminds you of why you do what you do.
Mhm.
Is there any particular story or a particular moment that you've experienced, that really was like, whoa, this is what God wants me to do
I do feel that way every day, and
every day?
that's not speaking it highly, but I feel drawn to that job every day. I generally wake up and I'm so excited to be there with those kids. This past year, I think was a full circle moment for me when I felt that the energy and love that I give was not only reciprocated, but was matched back in a way that seems unconventional. And actually this might've been last year, but a family, just out of gratitude for showing them love and kindness and not being judgmental towards their situation. They baked me homemade bread and brought me eggs from their chicken coop. And I know that sounds crazy, but I cannot tell you how it blessed my heart. Just knowing
Absolutely.
that they did not have much to give, but gave what they could just to show me back gratitude and love. And man, it really melted my heart. It's something that stayed with me, and it also helped me remember why I am the way I am and why I show people, you know, a judgment-free kind of love when they come through our preschool, because truly everyone is fighting a battle, everyone.
That's,
So just to have that care for me given back, it really, it was like a little God wink for me. Like, yes, you're doing well. And this family is grateful and they appreciate it. And it just warmed my heart.
absolutely. And this is why I put you here, right? I mean, that's what you hear from God in those moments. You know,
Mhm.
you have touched lives, you have touched souls and hearts, and you show up so fully for people, Miss Chelsee. You do. And
Thank you.
but I know deep in my heart and soul that kind of leadership requires care for your own soul too.
Mhm.
So let's take a look at what, with all those roles that you've got going on, you know, mom, wife, leader, how do you create space to care for Chelsee?
It's another one of those things that look different every day.
Yes.
And also something that I am working on and have to evolve with over time. There, 20 years ago, I would say I go and have my fingernails done, or I go and have a massage or something along those lines. And these days it's a little more intentional. It's more like I am going to schedule 20 minutes of quiet time and maybe listen to praise and worship music. I will walk my dog every single day, but in those moments, I'm trying to take in nature and the natural world around me and let my thoughts kind of process through my prayer. And other days it's sitting in front of my sun lamp in the winter with a warm
Yes.
cup of coffee and, you know, just kind of having a few minutes of quiet time. So every day it looks different for me. I do always try to be intentional in those moments, having a lot of self-awareness of when I need those moments too. Because I'll tell you, some days it's taking a time out to go upstairs and just scream in a pillow, you know, like
Absolutely.
it looks different day to day. But being self-aware of when things are escalating for me, when I feel like I need some self-care, when I feel like I need a timeout, or, you know, just knowing my needs, I think as an adult is a gift for me.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's something that I work on.
Absolutely. And so what I'm hearing you say is you have these opportunities to offer yourself grace on
Yes.
those really hard days. And you do that. You try to be way more intentional about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there
Yes.
some small practices, some quiet habits, prayers that help you keep your glow even when you're running low? Ha, that was a rhyme.
I just came upon something the other day, actually, that really resonated with me because it's something that I do daily, but without even realizing. And it's when you wake up in the morning, letting God be the first voice in your head instead of
Mm,
you, like the to-do list, what needs to get done, you know, things like that, which naturally cause anxiety and a feeling of being overwhelmed, but instead trying to start my day each day listening to where God is in my life, practicing gratitude, and also allowing that grace for the mistakes that I've made, trying to learn from areas where I can get stronger. And I try to take a few minutes in the morning to reflect on those things.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So I love how you said that when you wake up, not your voice, but God's voice first.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's intentionality too.
It's something that has to be practiced because it did not come naturally for me, but
yep.
much like
Okay.
everything else, I'm just a work in progress, and
Absolutely.
trying to allow God to be the voice that drives and anchors me more and more every day is just what I think guides my path.
Absolutely. So when you think about all that's going on in your life, do you think about the legacy that you're like living right now? What do you hope your kids are carrying with them most? The legacy part of this.
I hope that what lives on with my children is just that servant's heart, the unwavering love, the acceptance and grace that comes in life.
Mm.
And I feel as though I'm off to a good start because as my daughter is entering adulthood, I do see those things coming through. Today I was talking to her about being on this podcast and some of the things that might come up. And she said the greatest gift for her is that I lead by example for her. So whether it's highs or lows that I'm including her, I'm showing her, the hard parts and how I navigate through them with endless love and letting that be my light. My radiant light is love. And it really meant a lot to me to hear her say that I'm leading her by example of how to show love.
That's right. Oh, and you do every day. If you could name a scripture or a phrase that has sustained you lately, what would it be?
Definitely, I know I mentioned this earlier, but in this phase of my life, be still and know that I am God is what I'm reminding myself every day. My life verse is Ephesians 2:8, saved by grace through faith. But this trusting in God's power, and that he is in control, that all the uncertainties that I feel, he already has settled on my behalf, and being able to focus on his plan.
It's just being a part of God's plan, knowing that he has this plan for you.
That's
And
right.
absolutely. And I love the scriptures.
Yes, trusting in his plan and letting go of my control and knowing that I am his child and he loves me and he will guide my path. He will always be there to help me get through the hard times. So be still and know that I am God is definitely what's navigating me right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing so openly. I have really felt your faith and love and strength in all of your words that you've shared. But before we wrap up, I want to ask you something that I ask every guest who joins me, and that is my Radiant 5. Okay, so the first thing that comes to your head, just say it, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here we go. What does radiance mean to you, and how have you cultivated it in your life?
Radiance means to me being the light in the darkness. And I've cultivated that through living a life that shows the love of Jesus and the love for others.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Was there a turning point or breakthrough moment when you felt yourself stepping into your radiance?
Absolutely. I think entering into my late 30s, becoming more self-aware and accepting of my imperfections and the messiness that is sometimes life has really helped me step into my light.
Yes. Whew. Amen. I always talk about self-awareness, and oh my gosh, that's right there, the epitome of it for sure. What daily habits or mindset shifts have helped you sustain your glow?
Sustaining my glow for me is staying in the word and keeping my spiritual tank full. Um, and being joyful every day,
Mhm.
knowing that for me, I truly believe life is a gift and days are hard, but I try to find joy and gratitude in every day.
All right. If you could give one piece of advice to someone on their journey to radiance, what would it be?
It would be embrace the person that you are, love yourself for the things you do well and the things you don't do well. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes and give yourself some grace.
Yes. Oh, amen. All right. Finish this sentence. The radiant me
Is the light in the salt and trying to spread love every day.
uh, yes. Okay. One that's not on there. Okay. I want you to name one guilty pleasure that you have no way in the world that you're going to give up.
Eating too much chocolate.
Yay.
There's no way I'm giving up my ice cream problem every evening.
There you go. Even if it's just a teeny tiny scoop, who cares?
Yeah,
You're gonna have your
absolutely.
chocolate.
Yep.
You're gonna have
My
your ice cream.
girls share in that also.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, that's great. Chelsee, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing us what it looks like to walk in faith, lead with grace, and love with intention. And I think that of all of what we've talked about tonight, I think that what warms my heart the most is just knowing that you are love. You are intentionally sharing that love. And you've reminded us that radiance isn't found in doing it all. It's found in letting God lead and showing up with a whole heart. So to everyone listening, my hope is that today's conversation reminds you to trust your own path, lean into grace, and keep shining. Even in the messy middle, reach out to God. So until next time, take good care, keep on shining, and be the radiant you. Thank you.
Thank you.